What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. We're halfway through the combine. Tomorrow we got quarterbacks and wide receivers, and we got the big guys on Sunday. And we're looking at the players of the future. After all kinds of seesawing, Jerry Jones, of course, is letting us know that they'll be working on Dak Prescott's contract one way or the other, because he's going to be our quarterback, this, that, and the other. And what's interesting is, tonight during my live stream, Walker Wade shared with me a clip from 2015 that was a rant about the Cowboys. It was going off about Rolando McClain and Dez Bryant and Greg Hardy, and how undisciplined the team was, and how Jason Garrett had been undercutted by the Joneses and so on, and how undisciplined the team was. And all that was before Dak Prescott. And you could say that that was a culture problem there. Now, I don't know if Jason Garrett could have been that guy that could have been like a Bill Parcells, that when you messed up could give you that look and put your ass on the bench, or not. But he didn't get the chance to because Jerry Jones undercut him. And then I went back to a clip from 105 The Fan that had a guy that was talking about the Cowboys offseason, where it was Jerry Jones being sued in a paternity suit. It was Amari Cooper being traded. It was Michael Gallup being signed to a long-term deal, being injured. It was, it was going through all of the things. And in the end, after all of these negative things that had happened, all of these negative things, he said, the Cowboys, are they a better team as we sit here in April than we were before? And the sounding word was no. But beyond that, and I did a video putting that clip in there. But beyond that, Stephen Jones, he talks about Stephen Jones. He says how much he likes Stephen Jones. But Stephen Jones has this thought that if you have to go into free agency, you are overpaying for a guy because you messed up 2 or 3 years ago. I want you to think about that for a second. Stephen Jones feels like if you have to pay for a player, you will pay too much because they're a free agent, because you screwed up basically in the draft. I hear what you're saying on that, but you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. Instead of saying, like, say, the Eagles. The Eagles screw up with Carson Wentz. They move on from him. They get some draft picks. Fortunately for them, they, bite the bullet and take the big dead money hit, and they move on. They mess up. They tried to get better with their defense with Kevin Byrd, and they made a trade for him. Instead of saying we're going to stick with this, they cut him, took the money, and they'll make another plan. The problem isn't that you're making a mistake in the draft and being short. The problem is that you're short. It doesn't matter how you got there. It doesn't matter if you made a bad draft pick, like a Tristan Hill or a Taco Charlton, or a Jalen Smith. The problem, how you got there, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you ended up messing up with the boss man fat, or you shouldn't have paid for Zeke Elliott. The thing is you got to fix the problem. And we don't fix the problem. We're too busy covering up the problem of saying we believe in our own guys. That is in a nutshell, is the problem. You can't go through and say, well, we're going to take a safety at 207 pounds and make him a linebacker because we screwed the pooch on Jalen Smith and we shouldn't have let go Devin Harper. into waivers, and that Damone Clark isn't exactly what we thought he was going to be, and that Overshown got hurt. Listen, I don't care. Fix it. Just fix it. You can't go through and say, well, we can't pay Zeke because he's too expensive, and then say, Tony, you got to be Zeke when Tony can't be Zeke. Fix the problem. I don't care about making mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. But it's what you do after them. And this literally, the light bulb just beep, beep, just literally went off. And see, here it is. They're proving it still. I can guarantee you, Cowboys will be a player free agency of their own guys in bottom tiers. You won't see them talking to anybody first couple of weeks. I told you, we'll know about all in by the end of March. They haven't made any kind of move whatsoever other than, re-signing Jordan Lewis and Stephon Gilmore. There's no such thing as all in for the Cowboys. And I guarantee you there's no all in. Because Stephen Jones does not like free agency because he feels like he's paying too much for a guy. Rather go ahead and say, we're going to draft a guy. That's where we're going to go. And this is freaking insane. I'm sitting here watching today as Washington and the Bears and New England are freeing up cap space, that teams are restructuring contracts so that way they can try to get better and top themselves off. Because the sad thing is, we've been a good team. Understand what I'm saying? The Cowboys have been a good team. You don't win 12 games by not being a good team. Because we are a good team. The problem is, we're not a great team. And what it's going to take to do that is, we got to tighten some shit up with these players. These players have to be held accountable. You cannot have Randy, see, look, that's how bad it is. Sam Williams constantly making brain fart penalties. It's the same thing that Randy Gregory used to do. Exactly the same thing. Boneheaded mistakes. It's the same thing that David Irving used to do. This just keeps being repeated. It's the same thing that Greg Hardy used to do. We talk about, culture. People have been talking about culture. This is the badass kids continually getting away with badass shit. And you can't think that Mike McCarthy is going to be able to keep guys accountable if the owner is undercutting the coaches. If the players are spending the time at the Super Bowl in the owner's ear. I have to say that this is probably the lowest that I felt as a Cowboy fan. But I realize now that this is every off season. We get here at free agency, we have hope. This year it's even worse because we heard Jerry Jones talk about all in, and they ain't going all in, bro. They ain't doing jack. But what will happen, like it does every year, is by the end of training camp, after all of the talking heads clouding us, telling us how we got a bad culture, how we're not doing anything to fix the team, how Jerry Jones is the issue. By the time the beginning of the season comes around, they're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys and what's expected of them is Super Bowls and that they're a Super Bowl contender. How can we, when we don't do anything to get ourselves better than what we just were? Stephen Jones said it in a nutshell. Think about it. We've won 36 games in the last 3 years, and that's second only to Kansas City. And there you have it, good people. I think I'm going to go to bed now. As always, remember, tell the people you love them. Because you might not get the chance again. And I love you guys. And God willing, I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow we'll have better news. Peace.